Coach, what have these last couple days been like? Just as the season winds down, as your tenure winds down, getting ready for this weekend.
Um, Hayden, I can tell you that it's kind of the furthest thing from my mind right now. I'm focused in on these guys. Um, Really proud of how hard they've worked this year. It's been an up and down season for us. Not that we've had a ton of meets, but we didn't really feel like we had. It's unusual for us, but didn't have our best meet at the SEC meet. But then I thought we'd bounce back here at the regional meet and kind of flexed our muscles a little bit and got us back into the national rankings and all that. So as you know, we had to replace almost our entire team last year, and with our top five. And we had guys move in, whether it's Brian Masai or James Sankey, a new athlete, um, um, Ben Shearer, that those guys have really stepped up. So, feel good about it, but kind of not thinking about the end game right now, just focusing in on this.
What do you tell your guys about just Gans Creek overall and Columbia as the course about what they'll expect?
Um, we were there at pre-nats.
Yeah.
We've had a habit of going to pre-nationals over the last few years. I think that's helped us. And, so with the exception of James Sankey, who did not run that weekend, um, everybody's been on that course. So what I tell them is get ready to run your ass off, because that's really what it's coming down to. And uh, you got to get out and compete. It's really really a tough race, because every known distance runner on the planet that's any good is probably in that race. We in track, and once you get the track, we spread out into the steeplechase, the 5K, the 10K, those races all spread out. But every one of those type of athletes that are in this race on Saturday. So it really makes it a competitive, crazy competitive race. And there's a lot of people in it. And there's a lot of turns on that course. I'm hearing there's going to be rain, which will soften that course up. And then with the turns that they have in there, can get really worn down and get muddy. So there'll be some condition things to deal with.
And just as far as telling your guys about just staying mentally focused when this will be a nationally televised meet, do you feel confident your guys are able to block all that out?
Oh yeah, I mean, we've had a habit of doing that, as you know. We've been on the podium 3 or 4 times in the last 5 years. So we thought we could make a run at a title last year, ended up third. And so we're used to it. And so that's not even a thing right now. What's a thing is making sure that, we get out in a good position and hold that through the finish line, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. That's pretty much what I had for you. Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks, Hayden. Coach, individually, Timothy's one of the top individuals that are going to be in the race. Just thoughts on the season he's had and the potential he may have in the NCAA championship race this weekend.
We got a lot of potential. It's as I was telling Hayden, it's a crazy competitive race, and you got to be on that day. If you're on that day, a guy like Timothy, who is ranked one of the better guys in the country, just based off of a lot of different information, whether it's past performance in cross country or what he's done on the track, the fast times he's run during the track season. Yeah, so it's all a matter of being in the right frame of mind, and let's face it, it's no different than any other sport. You got to go into the hurt locker, and you got to be able to stay in it as long as you can. So if he can do that, he's gonna be in there with the best. And but I also believe that that Ben Shearer hasn't had his best race. I also believe that James Sankey hasn't had his best race. And I believe that Brian Masai hasn't had his best race. And I don't think Jack Williams has had his best race. So I'm excited to see, what's going to happen. And I feel like we're just gelling right about now. And so at least that's my take.
Appreciate it.
But you gotta be dialed in and ready to go. And to me, in that kind of race on that course, I think where you're at the first 2K, first K and a half to 2K out of a 10K race, that's that. If you're strong enough, and not give up a position, we're gonna have a good result.
The team is close, and they want to support each other, and I know as gut wrenching as it was not making it as a team, the ladies stepped up and have really helped Sydney out this week in preparing for the national meet. So I think says a lot about the group, and it says a lot about their the culture that we're building here on the women's distance side and as part of our overall track program. And excited to see what she can do. And like I said, I do feel very good that she's ready to rock and roll.
I didn't realize also that you had a hand in designing this course. What kind of, I guess that's something probably not a lot of coaches get to do, but just like, what was that whole process like for you?
Yeah. So about 2017, when I was coaching at the University of Missouri, we really call it the house that Carissa built, because when Carissa Schweitzer won the NCAA title in 2016, it was the next summer that the Columbia Parks and Rec came to us and said, "Hey, we want to build a championship cross country course here in Columbia. Do you guys want to be a part of it?" And we all looked at each other like, yeah, we want to be a part of it. So, and they said, "Okay, great, because we got this land. This is where we want to do it. We just need somebody to help us design the course, and we need your support, in some other ways too." And so we talked through that, and basically what happened was they had the land, they had money set aside for the excavation of the dirt. They just needed our expertise to kind of lay the course out. And then the University of Missouri, the athletics department, raised some money to build the K markers, the finish, the results tower, the finish line, and then the recovery barn that you go through when you cross the finish line. And then there's also an administration building there too that was built this past year that was part of that original donation money as well. So for the University of Missouri, it was great because they really didn't have to put anything into it from a athletic department. They were able to raise money to help offset some of the costs, and they got a championship course out of it. But yeah, it was really a great experience. You, as a cross country coach, we drive down the countryside all the time and look at a piece of land and say, "Oh man, that would be an amazing cross country course. I wish I could build something right there." And I got to do that. And Coach Halter, who was I worked with then, we got to do that together, and it was pretty cool. So it's been a great site, and I think it's going to play a great, be a great host to the NCAA championships this weekend.
And my last question, obviously, you're just bringing an individual on the team side. It looks like several teams will be in contention, a lot of individuals. But I think someone that's been the talk of a lot of cross country right now has been Jane Hindegren of BYU. What has it been like just seeing, as an outside observer, someone just kind of dominate the scene so early in her career?
Yeah, I mean, you could see her development over the last couple of years of high school, and just emerged on the scene, last year at NXN and then beyond, just started tearing it up. And heck, you could plug her into the NCAA last year in a lot of races, and she would be a major factor at the high end, So yeah, it's great for American distance running. I think that she's certainly a tremendous talent. She's got a good coach there now to kind of mentor her through these years, and she really has. She operates like a pro already, and so it's really good for anytime you see somebody like that come through, that kind of generational type of talent. It's really good for American distance running, and it kind of just raises the ceiling for everybody else. So as young ladies, the young women see her succeeding like that, they're gonna want to succeed like that, and it's gonna raise the bar for everybody. And I think that's probably the coolest part of it all. But I hope she has a great long career ahead of her, because she's certainly off to a great start.